What if I told you that the single biggest threat to your crypto portfolio right now isn't a hack, isn't a rug pull, and isn't even a market crash? It's a stretch of water you could swim across in under an hour. The Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, and right now it has the entire global financial system holding its breath. Welcome back. Let's talk about what's really going on, because the surface story and the real story are very, very different. Before we go deep, let's ground ourselves in where we actually are. XPRP right now is hovering around the $1.41 range, and before anyone panics, this isn't a collapse. This is the market doing exactly what markets do when uncertainty hangs in the air like smoke. It pauses, it waits, it watches. Bitcoin is bouncing between resistance at $78,000 and support around $73,000. Think of that range like a coiled spring. The longer it stays compressed, the more violent the eventual release in either direction. Ethereum and Solana are both showing mild green. Nothing explosive, nothing alarming. The crypto market right now is like a dog that heard a strange sound outside, ears up, body still, waiting to see what comes next. And here's the thing almost nobody is talking about. There is virtually zero major economic data this week. No CPI, no Fed meeting, no earnings season drama. The only scheduled data point of any weight is jobless claims on Thursday. So what does that mean? It means the market this week is 90% geopolitics and 10% everything else. Now let's talk about what's actually moving the needle. Iran has walked away from a second round of peace negotiations with the United States. And simultaneously, almost choreographically, Iranian Revolutionary Guard vessels fired on a commercial tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. Let me put the Strait of Hormuz in context for you, because if you've never thought about it, the number will shock you. Roughly 20% of the world's oil passes through that narrow channel every single day, 1/5 of global oil supply. Through a gap barely wider than a city. When that strait is threatened, even whispered about being threatened, oil prices don't walk up, they sprint. And here's where it gets genuinely strange. In the 21 minutes before Iran made a move that reopened tensions in the strait, approximately $760 million in oil short positions were placed, not after, before, 21 minutes before. Now, I'm not here to tell you who placed those trades. I can't prove it, but I will ask the question out loud that every serious market analyst should be asking: who had that information and who profited from it? If you've been following geopolitics and crypto long enough, this pattern starts to feel familiar. Sanctioned nations can't easily access traditional financial rails. SWIFT is blocked. Dollar accounts are frozen. International banking is off limits. But crypto has no borders. Crypto doesn't care about sanctions lists. It's permissionless by design. The theory, and it's worth taking seriously, is that state-level actors, particularly those under heavy sanctions, have identified crypto derivatives and commodity futures as a way to convert geopolitical leverage into hard profit. Make a move, front-run the market, convert the gains, repeat. It's not just a theory anymore when a government official is posting Bloomberg terminal commands on social media. President Trump announced that a U.S. Navy vessel intercepted an Iranian ship in the strait, with U.S. Marines taking full custody. That is not a small headline, that is an escalation. But here's what I want you to watch: not just the headline, but the reaction chain it triggers. Step 1. Conflict escalates, oil prices spike. Step 2. Oil spikes, inflation fears return. Step 3. Inflation fears, bond yields rise. Step 4. Yields rise, Trump gets uncomfortable because high yields mean expensive borrowing. And expensive borrowing slows his economic agenda. Step 5. Trump blinks, some form of deal or de-escalation gets announced. Step 6. Oil drops, inflation cools, rate cut, narrative returns. We have seen this exact cycle play out before. The pattern isn't random. Watch the 10-year Treasury yield. That number will tell you more about where crypto is heading in the next 30 days than any chart pattern will. Now here's where I want to spend a moment, because this is the macro thesis that most retail crypto investors completely miss. There's chatter that if peace breaks out, if the Hormuz Strait stabilizes, oil could slide back toward $3 a gallon at the pump in the US by late summer. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has floated exactly that scenario. And if oil comes down, inflation comes down. And if inflation comes down, the new Fed leadership has a runway to start cutting rates. Here's why that matters for crypto specifically. Look at history. The two most explosive bull market periods in crypto's short life, the 2017 run and the 2022-2021 run, both happened inside low interest rate environments. When the cost of capital is near zero, money flows into risk assets. It flows into equities, into real estate, and yes, into crypto. Right now, interest rates are still elevated. That's a lid on the pot. The heat is building underneath. Bitcoin ETFs, institutional adoption, regulatory clarity beginning to emerge, but the lid is still on. If rates come down meaningfully, if we see a path towards something like 1% in the US again, combined with whatever clarity the Crypto Clarity Act eventually provides, that lid comes off. And when lids come off hot pots, things get messy in the best possible way. And I want to be honest with you, this is a thesis, not a Guarantee. The exact opposite scenario is equally possible. The conflict widens, oil stays high, inflation persists, rates stay elevated or climb further. And 2025 ends up being another sideways, grinding, soul-testing year for crypto holders. Both roads are still open. Anyone telling you they know which one we're taking is selling you something. So where does that leave us? XPRP at $1.41 is not a crisis. It's a waiting room. The market is waiting on a geopolitical situation that could resolve in 48 hours or could escalate further. It's waiting on rate signals. It's waiting on regulatory news. What I'd encourage you to do right now is zoom out not just on the chart but on the situation. Ask yourself, if oil stabilizes, if rates drop, if regulatory clarity arrives, what does the crypto landscape look like 12 months from now? Answer that question honestly, and let that answer guide your decisions more than any 24-hour price movement. The noise is loud right now. The smart money is quiet. As always, do your own research. Nobody online, including me, should be making financial decisions for you. Take what's useful, leave what isn't, and stay thoughtful out there. If this gave you a different perspective on what's happening, drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you're new here, subscribe because this is the kind of conversation we have every week. Stay sharp, stay patient, and let's navigate this together.